this is Marvin Glotfelty here with another NGWA industry connected video. And today I want to talk about paying attention to the details for the February 2023 edition of the Water Well Journal. There's an article I wrote about this. And of course, you know, there's only so much we can have room and time to say in an article. So I wanted to supplement that a little bit. So I'll share my screen here, and I want to just talk about a couple of items that will help to augment this topic a little bit. Okay, so this we see on the diagram here, a well. And this is what we often use for maybe a technical specification or an as-built. And we show the depths on the left side. And this is, of course, not to scale, as it says at the bottom. And then on the right side, I've omitted a lot of the details, but we'll provide all kinds of details about each individual well, you know, the filter pack, grain size and source, screen slot size, the type of steels. In this case, we have stainless steel. It's intended to be this lighter gray in the bottom and then mild steel at the top. So they would be divided, of course, by a dissimilar metal connector so that we avoid galvanic corrosion. And then a cement seal and formation stabilizer and so on. Well, this is fine, but it's part of paying attention to the details. There's a lesson to be learned here, because when we look at this, and this is the way wells are almost always shown, is not to scale, because we have many tens or hundreds of feet vertically, and we have a few inches horizontally. Well, that's very reasonable diagram to be shown not to scale. But if we look at the same dimensions of this same well that is drawn to scale, we see quite a different indication here. That lower screen interval, these depth intervals are actually reflect what's in that left-hand drawing. So, you know, we can really have accidentally misleading information from a drawing like this. So we have to be mindful that we may have a problem like this. And our bentonite seal here looks like it's nice and thick and right in the middle of this blank section, whereas that's really not the case. So this is just an example of paying attention to the details goes to even how we look at information that's right in front of us, maybe even information that we ourselves created. We can be misled by it. So sometimes I find for myself, it's good to draw wells, not necessarily to full scale, because that would make some kind of a silly dimensions, but to vertical scale. And then we can have an independent scale horizontally if we feel we need one, but more often the vertical scale is what makes a difference. So if we look at another diagram, this is from an actual aquifer storage and recovery well that my company some time ago just took out some of the details. Again, over on this side, we'll normally give all kinds of descriptions of the material in here. And this is a stainless steel well in the lower part with a high stream flow alloy above it. And so this client wanted to have not only a stainless steel lower portion on the well and mild steel upper, but also in a sounding tube. So this sounding tube, as well as the casing, both need to have a dissimilar metal connector right here. So that's where the issue is. These need to have space horizontally to fit in place. This is some of the details I'm talking about that we need to pay attention to with well design and well installation. So you can see that we've made the borehole diameter a little bit bigger up here in the upper part of the well to accommodate these wider angular widths that these bulge out and take them up. But what we in reality we get looking at where we're going to set these, we have to consider the 1 inch or so protrusion out of the casing diameter that we get with the similar metal connector. So this is stainless steel on the right, high stream flow alloy on the left, and they can be coupled without galvanic corrosion because of this this coupling here, this dissimilar metal connector. Also on the sounding tube, we will need one like that, as you see at the top photograph here. So these two each are larger in diameter than their associated tubing strings. So how do we put them in? Can we put them side by side like this? From a practical standpoint, no, we cannot. They may barely fit like that, but it's just not very practical to try to put them side by side like that. So normally we're either going to put the sounding tube further up or further down. And so if we go further up, the problem can be the stainless steel is the more noble metal compared to the mild steel. That is to say, when these two are in contact, it is the mild steel that'll corrode. So we don't want the stainless steel to be adjacent to, and I'm showing just a short distance here, but this may be 5 or 10 feet when it's down here, in this case, almost 800 feet deep. So if we put this a few feet up and the stainless steel is laying against the casing, we could have corrosion of our well casing. We certainly don't want that. So given a choice, we'd probably put it down here. So if the two do come in contact and something corrodes, it's going to be our sounding tube and not our well casing. So this is the kind of details that we need to consider whenever we're doing well design. There's so many examples of this. It goes everything from drilling mud properties to just orientation of little devices like this and so on, all throughout our well. So with that, we need to just be mindful of this throughout a well installation program. It's a lot of details, but if we don't think the whole program through to completion, we may have trouble along the way. And once we're in the middle of doing it, that's not the time to rethink the problem. So I hope you're doing well and staying safe out there, and I'll talk to you next time.